Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, Abhijit. Hi, Diksha. Hello, Rashish. Hi, Tamitan. Good evening, Abhijit. Can you please confirm if I'm audible and you can see my screen? All right. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes for others to join in. There's only four of you right now. So, meanwhile, do you have any doubts from the last class? We discussed introduction to Google Display Network and went through the display ad formats and also did a demo of a GDN campaign. So if you have any doubts regarding it, you can ask. Else we can continue with today's topics. Today we'll be covering conversion tracking. Then we'll be taking up remarketing. Actually, these are the two topics for today because we covered more than what was required in the last class. Hello, Vandana. Good evening. Okay, I think let's get started. It's already 8:06. Others can catch up with the recording. So we'll be starting off with conversion tracking topic today. So who can recall what is conversion? We discussed it when we covered the basic AdWords terminologies. Anyone? Achieving CTA, Abhijit. Okay. When you get the desired result. Okay. So can I say that a conversion is only when somebody clicks on your ad and purchases something from your website? Hello, Efat. Hi, Pushpam. We just started. Yes. So a conversion is any action taken by a user after they click on your ad and reach your website, and that action adds value to your business. So it need not be limited to a purchase always. For example, if I've developed a new mobile app for my business and I'm using AdWords campaign to promote it, if somebody clicks on my ad, reaches my website and downloads the app, it adds value for my business and it's a conversion. Or if, let's say, I have a retreat coming up and I'm running a campaign to get people to sign up. So they need to submit a form on my website. For me, a sign up is something that is adding value for my business and that can be treated as conversion. So it's a very subjective concept. So just be mindful when you think of conversion and understand it's not limited to a purchase at all times. So before we go ahead with this topic, I'll play a short video on conversion tracking, after which we can go ahead and see how to generate the conversion tracking code. So once I play the video, I'll share the link with you after that.
Now that you're investing your time and money in AdWords, do you ever wonder if your ads are working, if those ad clicks are turning into profits? Well, you don't have to wonder. AdWords has a free tool called conversion tracking that shows you what happens after a customer clicks on or views your ads. A conversion is when a customer does what you're hoping for after seeing your ad, like making a purchase or calling your business. There are quite a few ways to track conversions. It all depends upon your business goals. Let's take a look at how 3 different AdWords users use conversion tracking to calculate the benefits of AdWords for their businesses. Maria, tracking clicks that turn into purchases. Maria owns a clothing boutique. She recently started selling her clothes online and wants to know if her ads are boosting her online sales. She has an ad campaign for jackets and another for shoes. To track conversions, she adds a single snippet of JavaScript code to the confirmation page her customers see after making a purchase. Once she begins tracking, she learns that her jacket ads are generating a lot of sales, but her shoe ads are not. So she decides to put more of her advertising budget toward her jacket ads to increase her profits. She also improves the keywords and ads for her shoe campaign to increase conversions in the future. Tom, tracking phone calls. Tom owns Main Street Flower.
Guys, are you able to hear correctly, or is there a time lag between the video and audio? There's a time lag. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share you the link.
Main Street Flowers. His website isn't set.
Link to the video. Yeah, so I think some of you are experiencing a time lag. So please watch it at your end and ping me in the group chat when the video is done. Okay. And then I'll take it up from there. Thank you. Is everyone done watching the video? All right. So let's just go ahead and see what this process is. Meanwhile, any questions from the video? Is it clear, the concept? How different actions can be treated as conversion? Yes? No? All right. So let's see how to create a conversion tracking code. So when you go to your AdWords account, if you click on the tools icon on top right, the spanner kind of icon, you see a drop down menu under which there's a column for measurement. In measurement, you see an option for conversions. Click on it and you navigate to the page where you're able to generate a conversion tracking code. Are you all here? Okay. So you don't have to necessarily follow the steps with me. Just focus on the screen right now. So if you wish to create a new conversion tracking code, because for any conversion action to be reported as data in the AdWords interface, you need to set up conversion tracking, which essentially means you need to generate the tracking code and install it in the HTML version of your page, which is the thank you page. Meaning, if you're making a payment, the page where the user lands after making the payment, or if they are submitting a form, the page where they are redirected to after submitting of the form. That is the place where the tracking code needs to be installed. Now, to create a new tracking code for the first time, you click on plus conversion over here, which takes you to the screen which was there on your presentation, where you have different options. You can create a code for your website. You can create a code for tracking the results on your mobile app. Or if you're a call-based business and you have people calling in to place orders, you can select the third option for phone calls. Or if you're already using a third-party software to track conversions and you want to import data from there, you can go for the fourth option. So today we'll be looking at how to create the conversion tracking code for your website sales and other actions that happen on your website. So you click on website. It's a very simple process. First of all, you need to enter the name of your conversion action. Okay. So let's say I'm going to create a conversion tracking code to track conversions on my Taro website. So if you go to my Taro website, there's an option where you can fill up the form and then make a payment. So I want to track the payments that are being made on my website. Okay. So first I need to give a name for this conversion action. So I'll name it, let's say Taro payment. Is this clear? So this name helps me identify what this code is for, or what does it track. Once I do that, as I scroll down, I have a category to select where I can select from options like purchase or sale, sign up, lead generation, viewing of a key page on my website, or any other action. So what do you think will be the appropriate category for this conversion action? Out of the 5 options, which one would be the most appropriate one in this case? Purchase and sale, sign up. How is it sign up, Abhijit? So there is a sign up form and there is a purchase. So now I said I am trying to track the conversions that are happening on the payment link on my website, right? So in that case, the appropriate category will be purchase or sale. If I were to track the sign up of the submission of sign up forms, it would have been the second option. Okay. Now, having done that, if I scroll down, I need to select how to track the conversion value. So every conversion will have a appropriate value associated with it, right? So here the options I have is one, I can tell the system not to use a value, meaning if I'm just tracking signups on my website, it doesn't involve any monetary transaction, right? So you just record a conversion and that's it. There is no value associated with it. Once you follow up with the lead and they make a payment, only then the conversion value comes into play. But in this case, do you think not using a value is a good option? Yes, no, no. Anybody think it's a good option to have? So since I am tracking the payment, I need to give it a conversion value. So in that case, we have 2 options to go for. One, if I select the first option, I can select it if each and every conversion action has the same conversion value. Okay. So whoever makes a payment on my website, they will be making a payment for the same amount. There are no options to pay differently. Okay. So in that case, I need to select what's my currency, in this case, Indian rupee. And then I need to select what is the conversion value. So I put 2000. What does this mean? Every time somebody clicks on my ad, reaches my website, and makes a payment on the payment link, AdWords system will report the value of that conversion to be of 2000 rupees. Any doubt regarding this? The first option? Okay. So do you think this option will be helpful for you if you're having an e-commerce website where you have multiple products and each product is priced differently? No? Right. So we have the second option, in which case we will tell the system each conversion action will have a different value associated with it. Okay. Now you may think why we have a default value option if each conversion is having a different value. Yeah. So if you are using the second option where you want to associate a different conversion value with each conversion, then you need to work with your web developer so that the website passes on the value of each conversion action to the tracking code as each conversion happen. Is that clear? Now, in any instance where this value is not passed on, then whatever you enter as the default value over here, that value gets reported as the value of that conversion. Is that clear? So this is like a option that you have so that in the event, I will repeat, Abhijit. So normally what will happen? You make sure that when a conversion action happens on your website, your web developer ensures that the person who purchases a product, when he lands on the thank you page, the website reports what is the value of that conversion to the tracking code, so that tracking code can report it back to the AdWords interface. Okay. Now, in the event, for whatever reason, if the website does not pass on any value, okay, rather than reporting zero conversion value, if you can put a default value over here, that value will be reported as your the value associated with your conversion action. So let's say I have 5 different products, one worth 100 rupee, another 200, 300, 400 or 500 and so forth. Maybe I can give an average value of my product over here, so that instead of being reporting as 0, it reports an average value. Or I can maybe report just 100, because I know for sure that whatever conversion happens, at least 100 rupees conversion value would have been registered. Are you clear about this? This option is there because if you're having a website like, let's say, Flipkart or Amazon, do you think it's practical to have a conversion tracking code with one value for each conversion? Obviously, you are having so many products and each product will have a different price. So it becomes important for you that at every instance of each conversion, the appropriate value gets reported to the AdWords interface. Yeah? Is everyone able to understand why we need this second option? Typically, if you're having a website with multiple products or services, each having a different price, this is the option to go for. But if you're having a website like what I described, in the case of the tarot, where I have just one service and it is priced same, you can go for the first option, where you can mention an amount like, let's say 2000 in this case. Whatever conversion takes place, system reports the conversion value as 2000 rupees. Is that clear? Hi Manali, welcome to the session. We just started off with conversion tracking. You can catch up on the initial part in the recording. Okay. All right. So anybody else has any doubt till here, till conversion value? So I am going to select the first option here because every conversion action will have the same value. Does that mean that the tracking at times fails? Yeah, it is to account for any such event that we have this default value over here. It need not be an issue at the AdWords end. It could be an issue because of the website also. The failure can happen when the website does not pass on the value to the tracking code. We are installing the tracking code on the page. Okay. All right. So after you mention the conversion value, there is an option for you to select the count. Okay. So count here means how do you want the system to count conversions? Okay. Do you want to count each and every instance somebody makes a purchase or a form sign up as a different conversion? In which case you will select every as your option. Or if you want somebody clicks on your ad and let's say they go to your website and makes 3 purchases, but you are focused on how many unique ad clicks led to conversions. In this case, you can select one as the option. Is that clear? No. In the option for every, I am telling the system, irrespective of how many clicks I received, I just want to focus on each individual conversion. Is that clear? In the second case of one, I am focused on the unique click which led to the conversions. So somebody might click one time on my ad, they might submit 3 different forms. It will still be counted as one conversion because it was all the 3 came from one unique ad click. So if you're having a e-commerce kind of a website where you have different services and everything, it is recommended to go for every. Only when you're focused on the unique number of ad clicks which generated the conversions, you need to go for one. Otherwise, it is recommended to go for every as the count. Is this clear? Any doubt, anybody till here? Okay. If you don't have doubt, we can proceed. Then there is a conversion window. Conversion window here means once you receive a click on your ad, do you think the person who clicked on the ad will immediately go ahead and purchase something all the time? Or is it possible that they might take some time, come back, revisit after a week or so, and then complete the conversion? That's possible, right? Even if we look at our own user behavior, I might click on an ad, but I might not always uh, purchase something then and there. I might revisit it after a week, maybe 2 weeks, all these things. So here I can select how many days I need to give as a conversion window. So if I give by default it's 30 days. If I give it as 30 days, what happens is, let's say Abhijit, you clicked on my ad today and you did not fill up the form today. Okay. Now what happens is, if 1 week later you visit my website directly without clicking on any ad and you submit the form, okay, that conversion will be attributed to the click you made today. How does it do that? So it uses cookies to identify whether it's the same user who did it. Okay. So if you have cleared your cache and cookies, of course it can't track, but otherwise it can make sure that it's the same user who has who clicked on the ad is the one who converted, and it will attribute it to that click. So to attribute legitimate conversions which were initiated by AdWords ad but with some time lag, you have a conversion window option. Is everybody clear about this? All right. Then you have an option called view. Sorry. So view through conversion window is same. It is about selecting how long you need to track somebody and attribute an conversion after an impression. After somebody sees your ad, for how long you need to. So here it's about clicks. After I click on your ad, here it's the impression. The third one, include in conversion, is, remember when we discussed bid strategies, I mentioned for conversion strategies like cost per acquisition or ROAS, return on ad spend, for all these things, you need to have a minimum amount of conversion data in the account so that the system can come up with some estimates. Remember? So when you check this mark, you're allowing the system to use the conversions reported under the conversions columns and make it available for conversion based bid strategies so that they can optimize these bids for conversions. Is it clear? Okay. And finally, you have an option where you can attribute the credit for the conversion to first clicked or last clicked ad or many other options. So this is because, see, many times the conversion may not happen after a person clicks on a single ad, right? You might see multiple ads from the same advertiser, and you might click a couple of times at times before you actually convert. So when I select last click as my option, what I'm telling the system is whichever ad received the last click after which the conversion happened, attribute all credit of the conversion for that last clicked ad. When I select first click, I'm telling the system attribute all the credit of the conversion to the ad which was first clicked. So let's say, Vandana, you clicked on my ad today. You went to my website but did not sign up. A week later, you saw another ad from my account. You clicked on it, went to my website. This time you converted. If my attribution model is first click, system will attribute all the credit for that conversion to the ad you clicked today, the first clicked ad. Is this clear? Yes? Any doubts here? Similarly, you have a linear model where if 4 different clicks happened after which the conversion happened, the credit for the conversion will be attributed equally to all the 4 clicks. So like 24% to each ad. Now, where does it impact you is if one ad gets the credit for a conversion, when it comes to ad rotation, that ad starts getting more preference when you win an auction. Okay, so that is where its real impact lies. That's right, Vandana. So if you had clicked on an ad today and clicked on another ad after a week, and then you converted, if your conversion, attribution model is first click, the credit for that conversion will go to the click which happened today on the first ad. Are you all clear about the linear model? The credit will be distributed through equally to all the ads in the conversion path. In the time decay model, if multiple ad clicks led to a conversion, those clicks which happened closer to the date of conversion will receive more credit, and the ones which are farther away from the uh, date of conversion will have the least credit. So the first click will have the least credit for the conversion, last click will have the maximum credit for the conversion. Okay, Is this fine? Okay. And in position based attribution model, if multiple clicks led to a conversion, you tell the system to attribute 40% of the credit to the first clicked ad, 40% of the credit to the last clicked ad, and distribute equally the remaining 20% among all the intermediary clicks. Now, can somebody guess why this model exists? The logic behind it? Anyone? See, many e-commerce websites sometimes prefer to use position-based bid strategy because the first ad is the one which introduced the user to, or the consumer or the client to the product on your website, right? So that way it assumes importance. The last clicked ad is the one which actually led to the monetary transaction or the value addition. So that way, some advertisers prefer to give more importance to the first and last ad clicks equally and distribute the credit for the other conversion to the intermediary ad clicks. Is this clear? Any doubts? Can I say a yes or no? If you don't have doubt, you can say no. All right. So once I select the attribution model over here, I say create and continue. So I'm not creating here. Instead, I'll go back to the presentation. Once I click create and continue, I'll be taken to a page called setting up of the tag. Now here, there are two tags that you will see. One is called the global site tag. So under this global site tag, you will see in gray color the HTML tag, which can be copied from here. And it needs to be implemented between the head tags of every page, not just the conversion action page, every page of your website. This also helps with remarketing. Okay. So you need to, if you don't have access to the HTML version of your web pages, you can give it to your web developer. He or she will do it. After the global site tag, you have event snippet. This is another HTML tag. Okay. This is the one you need to apply on the specific page where the user is going to land after the conversion action. Is that clear? So there are two tags, global site tag on every page, event snippet tag on the specific conversion page. Okay. All right. Once you do that, once you copy it, then, so this was basically for the Vyogchala website visitors which I had created. That's why the screenshot says so. I can click on done and that particular tag will be created. It will say status unverified. Once I upload this tag on my web page, it will change its status to verified. Yeah. Is this clear, guys? Any doubts about conversion tracking? All right. So we will start with remarketing. Remarketing concept I had briefly touched upon earlier. What is remarketing? It is retargeting or re-engaging with users who have explicitly expressed an interest about a product on your website. Yeah. So they may have visited a particular page on your website and they may not have taken any action, they may have left, and that leads to an opportunity for you to re-engage with them so that you can retarget them and see if they can return to your website to complete the conversion action. Okay. Now, for remarketing, why is it important? About 96% of people who visit a website, they leave without completing the action that marketers want them to take. And almost 70% of shoppers abandon their shopping cart rather than follow through with their transaction. This is what some studies indicate. So it becomes very important. Even if you look at our own user behavior, we do put a lot of stuff in the wish list, right? Sometimes we not take action on them, or we might browse through a lot of products during this lot of sales that happen on Amazon or Flipkart, but we may not take action on them all the time. Yeah. And when do you see these? Sometimes when you go to Make My Trip, Clear Trip, or these kind of travel websites, you look up travel tickets, flight tickets between two locations for a particular date. If you don't book and you leave the website, you might see ads relating to those two places for those dates following you. Yeah. Have you noticed that? So in that instances, you are being followed by ads, and in the hope that you might click on it, maybe you are offered some discount, so you come back and complete the conversion action. So for the remarketing, unlike other targeting options, one additional step is required. How does other targeting options work? The moment you finish campaign settings, when you create a display campaign, you reach the ad group. In the ad group page, you are able to select if it's demographic targeting, age groups, if it is topic targeting, from the list of topics, all these things. But in the case of remarketing, if you select remarketing, you need to have already created a set of remarketing list first. And creating of the remarketing list happens in the section called Audience Manager. So if you go to your settings tab, under Shared Library, you will see something called an Audience Manager. If you go to Audience Manager and you click on plus sign, it will ask you what kind of remarketing list you want to create. You can create a remarketing list for your website visitors, so that if you want to retarget people who visited a particular page on your website, you can do that. If you want to retarget people who took some actions on your mobile app, you can do that. If you're having a YouTube channel or a YouTube video and you want to retarget to users who viewed your video or took some action on the YouTube video, you can even do that, right? Or you can also use the offline data that you have collected in terms of email IDs or phone numbers. You can upload it and create a customer list which you can retarget. So these are the different ways in which you can create remarketing lists on AdWords account. So if you select website visitors, you will see a section where you can give a name for the audience. So something like um, tarot payment page. That can be one remarketing list. People who have visited the payment page for tarot reading but who did not make the payment, if they have returned from that page. From the list members, I have to select a criterion. So I can select visitors of a page and I can give the URL of the payment page. So basically it means anybody who visits this particular URL, I want them to be added to this remarketing list. And when I say add them to the remarketing list, what do I mean? It essentially means install a cookie which will identify that user, and that cookie will be part of this remarketing list. So if I say there are 50 members for a remarketing list, it means there are 50 cookies in that remarketing list. Okay. Any doubt here? So when I create a remarketing list, first I give a name to the remarketing list. Is that clear? Once I do that, I give a criteria of how somebody can become a member of this remarketing list. So in this case, I can say visitors of a page on the website and give, say, the URL of the page contains, I will enter whatever URL is the pay of the payment page. So anybody who visits that URL of that specific URL, their cookie will be stored as a member of this remarketing list. So basically, when you click on the ad, there's a cookie drop down your browser which identifies you as a visitor. Okay, that is why when you leave the website and you go to any other website, this cookie helps the AdWords system track you and show an ad wherever you go. So the moment you clear your cache and cookies, remarketing cannot work. Is this clear? All right. So once you've done that, you can also give a size for the list. Okay, so initial list size, you can maybe give an option that, okay, the last 30 days who are visited on my website, you can include them automatically to be part of the list. And whoever becomes part of the list, you can again give a time period. How long should you keep that cookie as part of the list? So I don't know, have you noticed that certain times when you look up some product on Amazon, when you leave the website, you start seeing this particular product ad following you? Like, let's say I looked up a pen drive. The moment I leave the website, I see this pen drive following ad following me in different websites. Now this may happen for few days. After that, it may suddenly stop. Have you noticed that? Anyone? Or it may be related to any travel booking ad. Yeah, that happens because the membership duration would have expired. So if I keep it for 1 week, let's say 7 days, anybody who visits the page on one day, they will start seeing this ad following them in different websites for the next 7 days, after which this cookie is dropped from this list. So they will stop seeing the ad because they are no longer targeted. Yeah, clear? All right. And if your team is managing your AdWords account, it's a good idea to give a description about what this audience is about, so that anybody else who, other than the person who created the list, if they take a look, they know, okay, this is the purpose of this remarketing list. So I can give a name, set a criteria, set the membership duration, description, and create audience. That's all. Okay. Now once you create this list will be available in your ad group. When you create an ad group, when you go to remarketing tab, when you select remarketing as the targeting option, this list will be available there to be targeted. Is that clear? Anybody, any doubts? Same way for mobile app users. You can give an audience name, then you can select from the list. You can target people who are all users of the app currently, people who have used the app recently but have not used it after that, or people who have using a specified version of the app, or people who have taken a specific action within the app. So there are a lot of options like this available. And you can, once you set the rule, again you can set how long you need to keep the person in the membership of the list and create the audience. So the rules are customized for a mobile app scenario here. If you're going for the customer list option, you can upload email IDs, phone numbers, or even postal addresses, or if you have received data regarding the mobile device IDs of people, you can use even that in a specified template. So here, because of this drop down, you're not seeing it, but there's a hyperlink where you can download a template. It will have an Excel CSV file with a particular format. Enter the email ID, phone numbers, name, all these things in that order, and you can upload it. Once you upload it, the system will be able to target them based on these data. Is this clear? Yeah. You can also use a custom combination of different um the whatever options we saw now. You can use a custom combination of these options also when you create a remarketing list. And even for your YouTube channel, you can create a remarketing list of users who have interacted with your YouTube channel or specific YouTube videos and remarket to them. So you may have noticed that when you see or watch certain videos on YouTube, when you navigate away from YouTube, you may start seeing ads related to that video on other websites. Have you noticed that? Or you may start receiving emails about the programs that you may have watched on YouTube. Sometimes when I watch certain podcasts on YouTube, what happens is I see that automatically somehow my uh, Google email address, the account in which I was logged in while watching that video, they start receiving some promo emails from those podcast YouTube channels. That can happen sometimes. Yeah. Is this clear, guys? Remarketing, everyone? Okay. So uh, actually, that is all for the week 3, because we had already covered few topics. So typically, I do the display campaign topic on Thursday, but we were able to cover it quite fast on Tuesday. So if you have any doubt regarding those topics, we can take it up right now. Meanwhile, you can also share the feedback for today's class here. And what is the let's look at the assignments for this week. I'm just opening the LMS account. So this is week 3. So the major assignment this week is to create the Google display campaign with a responsive ad. So you have the instructions over here: task, set up the campaign, and set up the ad group. So all the screenshots from the presentations are available here also. Okay. You have a template which can be downloaded for the assignment. And once you've done that, set up the ad group. Select the targeting options and create the ad. And you can submit the file after creating the ad. You just need to take a screenshot of that ad and upload it over here. Is this clear, guys? Any doubts? Anyone? Okay. Have you all taken the feedback form? Thank you, Tamitam. Thank you, Abhijit. Thanks, Vandana. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Good night, Rashish. Thank you, Abhijit.